What is up, beautiful Cancer Squad? Welcome to my channel, The Intuitive Teacup. That is me. So happy to have all the Cancers out there in YouTube land with me. Welcome, guys. What is going on in the world? It has been a crazy couple weeks. I hope this video finds you doing well. Hang in there, guys. We're going to get through together. Life is crazy right now, but let's see if we can have some fun with this tarot reading, provide you with some fun entertainment while you're at home, possibly quarantining yourselves, right? But Cancer, you don't mind, right? In your cozy little home, you're a nester. We'll get through this. Anyways, guys, welcome. We are going to do your career and finances tarot. This is going to be roughly mid-March into mid-April. Energy is free-flowing. You don't need to put a fixed start and end date on these messages. Receive them as they present themselves, and ultimately, I ask that you only take away the messages that resonate with you, that serve you in some capacity, motivate you, inspire you, confirm something, or illuminate you to something new. I come at these messages with love and positivity, so I am hoping that that is what you take away here today. Please know in advance, not every message will be yours. It's up to you to discern which ones you are going to take away. Everything else about this video is going to be in the description box down below for you, including the decks I'm using here today, as well as my social media channels. I'm the Intuitive Teacup on Facebook and Instagram. Like, share, subscribe wherever you can, including on this video. That helps my little channel gain traction here. This channel has been up and running for almost a year. I started it in Aries season in 2019. So yeah, like I've come such a long way. And yeah, it's been like a fun little personal success for me. And I appreciate all you subscribers out there. Wouldn't be possible without you. Did I just give an acceptance speech? I'm sorry, that got weird at the end. Anyway, one more deck to shuffle for my Cancers. Mad love for my Cancer gang. Here we go. Money, career, and finances. Messages for Cancer's best and highest good. Cancer, money, career, finances, jobs, retirements, internships. Let's have it all. What do they need to know? Middle of March into middle of April. One more card. One more card for Cancer. Whoops, as you get like 9,000 cards. All right, well, these two want to be seen, but they don't really fall in this little spread I have here. 7 of Wands. All right, so endurance, strength, powering through, facing obstacles, and 6 of Wands. So yeah, you're on the brink of pushing through some major obstacles, hardships, barriers, people coming at you with either negative thoughts or doubts, or just really, really challenging you to step up and take the lead. I think you're going to. It's almost like you're running backwards so that you can launch into whatever you're going into next. There will be victory and celebration. There'll be a tremendous sense of self-confidence, pride for what you have accomplished, as well as eyes on you. People are going to sort of be singing your praises, Cancer, but I'm sort of getting that you're in this like launch phase. You might literally be launching a business or launching a website or launching some sort of project. But yeah, it's almost like it's very funny. It's very specific, like a pull back, almost the way you would a slingshot, a pull back and then a launch forward. So I'm sensing you guys are in the pullback phase where you're like bracing yourself. Some of you may literally be taking a flight, and especially with what's going on, you might be kind of nervous or have some anxiety. No bad messages there. It's just, yeah, I am getting like literally a brace. You're anticipating being shaken or being shook. But I think there's going to be good reward in it for you. Some of you may be signing some sort of contract to begin working on a new team, and you may be feeling self-conscious or just a little bit awkward because you don't know the team very well yet. But this feels like a fantastic business opportunity, and intuitively you know that this is like the right path. You know that there's going to be something there for you. The work that you've done previously, it feels like you were never compensated the amount that you were really due or the amount that you were really owed. There's something about you never felt like you were appreciated or that like the price sticker or the price tag that you put on yourself was much lower than you actually deserved. It feels like in this new opportunity, there will be more reciprocity. There will be more like love. There will be more compassion, or there'll be more appreciation for your gifts. I heard intuitive gifts, psychic gifts. So you may be doing something, some type of work that is more spiritual or artistic, particularly music. Some of you may be opening up your own little, like, I heard food store. So I don't know, like a little shop or a bakery, or maybe it's a restaurant, something like that. And some of you also want to work in, what is the term? Is it sommelier? Like wine? I don't know if you're working at like a vineyard or I don't know, something about wine is important. Maybe that just has to do with celebrate, like a toast to you if you guys are toasting with wine glasses. Something about wine is coming through. Maybe it's the color purple. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. But even this, there's a lot of like kind of purpley tones to that. Some of you are, you have 2 kings coming up. So this is probably representing you, Cancer, the King of Cups, whether you're male or female, that water energy. You also have the King of Wands coming up, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, fire energy. This is also indicative of your career, being the king of your career. But there's movement from one to the next or from one to the other. Some of you are no longer being the receptive feminine energy or the passive energy. You're stepping up to becoming boss mode, to being your own advocate for demanding what the salary that you should be earning, demanding the attention or the recognition or the praise. It's not in an egotistical way. It's more just like, there was something about like floundering in the background and the metaphor with the water floundering versus like transitioning into some cycle where there's some sort of epiphany or thought or intelligence or clarity, a message you get potentially from higher source, from spirit, that it's like, no, like I am the boss. I always have been the boss. So now it's time for me to start getting paid like I'm the boss. It feels like there's a rise in confidence. And with that comes a rise in your paycheck. A lot of you are leaving behind some sort of toxic cycle, toxic person, potentially your own addiction issues. It could absolutely have to do with alcoholism, or if not that, codependency in a relationship, or constantly being involved with people who, again, undervalue you or undermine you. It could be romantic relationships. It could also be relationships in the workplace where you've always settled to be like, it's almost like being, it is sort of relationship-esque the way it's being delivered to me. It's like the side piece. You were never like the main prize, the main attraction in your workplace. Either you settled or sort of got placed in roles where you were kind of at the sidelines, but there's a transition into a new cycle. And I think you are signing a contract with some sort of team, potentially a Libra, though it doesn't have to be, where, you become either your own boss. So maybe you are starting a business, like a startup, or joining a team specifically of 3 people. Again, it could even be a musical group. I know that's kind of random, but you hold much more power in this role. You're a heavy hitter. You're a heavy player in this new role. But you're transitioning out of a cycle with the devil. Transitioning out of a cycle where, you were lured in by something that ended up being quite toxic. It may have been a job title that offered you room for growth and, room for salary increases, but something about that, it didn't deliver on the promise. And so I think you're cutting it. Yeah, you're cutting it to go towards the King of Wands. So some of you may be collaborating with a fire sign, an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, because there's more money involved in that. But before you're able to do that, there's something about going back to make peace with the past. So I don't know if it has to do with this person, or some of you may be enrolling in like AA or some sort of course that's going to help reset your health, particularly if this had to do with like an unhealthy habit. For some of you, it could have been like overindulging in food or alcohol or drug use, something like that, substance abuse. There's a judgment of like blowing the whistle once and for all. That's not going to be my story anymore. You could have stayed in a relationship that was verbally abusive, or someone who, again, undermined you or didn't appreciate you. Once and for all, you're making a judgment call that that's no longer my story anymore. Like, I'm not going to be at someone's beck and call, every time they sound the horn or, blow the whistle. You're not going to welcome their energy and them into your life with open arms. You're shutting them down. You're focusing on yourself. You're rewarding yourself, is a weird way of saying it. But you step into the spotlight. You become the star. That's what I mean. There's a tremendous amount of confidence and clarity that you have, that you hold the magic wand now. You potentially, as I'm saying, are becoming the King of Wands. I do think for some of you, there is going to be a collaboration with a fire sign, an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. For 1 or 2 of you, that could potentially be romantic, but it does have a very sort of platonic team building dynamic to it. So interesting. A Gemini may play a key role in helping you transition from one career to another. That could be your mentor, or someone who writes you a letter of recommendation, or someone who refers you to another job or a friend they know who's hiring. Something about the transition with the Gemini. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, this card wanted to come out earlier. Wow, you have it twice too. As I said, the Gemini, right? Then you have double Gemini cards. It's Gemini and Virgo, and you do have another card of Virgo here with the Knight of Pentacles as well. Two knights, Knight of Swords. So two knights and two kings. And look, both of you are headed towards each other. Some of you may be Gemini, Cancer, Cuspers. Not all of you, of course. But yeah, there's either two meeting of the minds or going from one to the next. Very interesting. Anyway, Magician coming out twice. This card was kind of wanting to show itself when I was shuffling. A huge card of confidence. Commanding the room, realizing that, again, you hold the magic wand, literally, right? You hold all the power in your hands. You have all the tools on your table to create your reality, essentially. And this does have to do with your business, the career of your dreams. But you do have 10 of Swords twice. So you guys are coming out of, like, I do want to say a very heavy, labor-intensive, mentally straining, karmic or toxic cycle. And I keep wanting to say with the devil. Now, obviously that's not literal for most of you, right? Again, standing for codependencies, addictions, unhealthy behaviors, or surrounding yourself with people who, again, kind of stuck a sword in your back, so to say. It something ended in a capacity that was like, oh shit, that happened. And I am getting again and again, you're breaking out of unhealthy patterns of behavior, Cancer, or just finally realizing that you were settling for energy vampires or bottom feeders or people who were just constantly at you, but they weren't, again, paying you what you were worth or recognizing your own worth and value. Some of you were very much getting into relationships based purely on like sexuality. And so there was no substance there. It was because somebody gave you like the time of day sexually. You were like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, let's do it. But then you realize like they just ended up hurting you every time. So a lot of you are finally stepping away from that and recognizing your own value and worth. And it's almost like you become more aligned with like a pureness in the way you approach relationships. Like, my body is my temple. Like, I'm not just going to let anybody, come inside, essentially, right? Ooh, that has like a really sexual metaphor. But it's the complete opposite, though. I'm almost getting like Virgin Mary vibes now. That's not for everyone, right? But yeah, I do think there is a lot of idea of like nudity and sexuality here. I don't know if you're sending nudie pics to people, like via social media or via text, whatever it would be, right? Probably not social media, but you know what I mean. In your DMs, maybe. Yeah, it's like your body does not dictate your self-worth. I hope that makes sense. Some of you may be having body issues. And yeah, I just keep getting breaking out of an unhealthy habit that has kept you back, or mental thoughts about yourself, a lack of confidence that has been holding you back. You're busting free from that. There's change in movement, and some of you, your body may literally be changing. With Knight of Pentacles, there's a temptation to try and fix something with someone one last time, but I am sort of getting the universe being like, Cancer, let it go. Like, you already know how this has ended time and time and time again. So even if it's not with the same person or the same boss or the same job, you keep wanting to try and reach after something. And I almost heard save someone, save something, thinking that like there's untapped potential there. There isn't. You see very clearly this person's behavior, the way that they run their business, the way that they treat you in a relationship. So again, it's time to make the final whistle blow, the final judgment call of, I'm the star. Like, I'm taking the center stage. I'm focusing on me. I'm, keeping one foot in the pool of dreams and wishes, but also being very grounded, being on land, right? There's a nice balance to you coming into the Aries season, I want to say, that fiery kind of king energy. Yeah, I think you start making strides to retract or disconnect from people that have done you dirty. People that have really disappointed you and let you down. I think you're cutting them off once and for all. Some of you want to be doctors or nurses or work in the medical industry, or specifically with pets, helping to heal pets, animal therapy, like veterinary type stuff. So your challenge or focus is realizing that what you thought in your past was your dreams coming true. You've actually course corrected. You've changed your mind. And Cancer, I think I've gotten this message for you before, even in dating and relationships. you have some sort of epiphany or just some sort of clarity that what you thought you wanted in the past, it actually isn't making you happy, or doesn't have the potential to make you happy the way you thought it would. So some of you might go to one job that you held up on a pedestal, but very quickly you come to realize, oh, this isn't what I want, but it's positive. The fact that you are understanding that instantly now, it's like you have a physical reaction to something. And it's almost like a feeling of deja vu, like I've been here before. And in a sense, it's because you have. It's a karmic lesson that you've either learned literally in the past or in past lifetimes. And I'm getting I keep wanting to say recoil. I don't know why that word specifically is coming through. There's a physiological reaction when you get yourself into a situation, potentially with a person that you instantly know, oh no, they're not who I thought they were. Oh no, this is not the job for me. That's what these two knights and two kings could indicate. And I'm not saying one or the other per se. I am just saying it's like there's movement towards one, and then there's a decision to course correct or to change direction. And then there's finding the one that is more practical and good for your health, your spiritual health, as well as your growth. I'm getting that you've either worked with people or dated people. And I don't mean to make this a love reading, but it is kind of coming through that way. You've worked with people or dated people who took advantage of your kindness, of your warmth, of your compassion, of your empathy, particularly if you were involved with a water sign. And I think once and for all, you're cutting them off. And it launches you in a new direction that it's going to be much more satisfying. And if cups are indicating money flow, it's going to be much more abundant, but it is coming up as your challenge or focus, because I am getting that severing this person off, or this old coworker, or detaching yourself from this workplace, there's something that does pull at your heartstrings and you feel guilty, or part of you feels a little bit selfish wanting to cut it off, but know that it is for your best good, because you're headed towards something greater, Cancer. Again, something about a Gemini is going to be crucial in the turnover or the transition from one person to the next, or from one business to the next. Some of you may be married to a Gemini. Yeah, you're moving towards loyalty. Again, you're moving towards some partnership, be it business or romantic, that is much more grounded. It's much more loyal. The Knight of Pentacles is my most loyal knight. He will get the job done. He's not so much concerned with the timeline of it, because he'd rather do it right than do it messy or sloppy. That's what you're headed towards. So potentially with an earth sign or a fire sign. Gender doesn't matter, right? But interesting. Some of you want to work in modeling or fashion or acting, the entertainment industry. And something about you may end up working for an Aries, particularly if you're working in photography or on set, something like that. Your challenge or focus, I love this, is recognizing that there has been a false belief about yourself. The idea of you've only been seeing yourself as a black cat, but in the mirror, it's like you're a panther, right? There's something much more powerful, much more... it's nudging you to be more confident, to recognize who you really are, to stop minimizing yourself, or apologizing for yourself, or seeking permission from other people. It's something about discovering the greatest secret of all of this is that the potential has always existed within you. It's just pulling it out. And it's like being the master of your own destiny. It's like you've almost been waiting for someone else to spin the wheel and see where it lands, but it's your life, Cancer. It's almost like you're being guided to take the reins and go after what it is that you really want. With this, it's something like you have lots of options. You could work with anybody you want. You could be in any career field you want. It's up to you to decide where do you want the wheel to land. When you decide to invite change into your life, and not only invite change into your life, but again, grab the reins and go for it, there's really beautiful potential for growth and development in new areas of your life that you didn't really anticipate. You're headed into a new cycle. Again, potentially with a Scorpio, and you do have King of Cups. A Scorpio that maybe you have past baggage with, or there's been some sort of miscommunication with, you may set it straight once and for all. And that may have been some of this damage or this baggage that you're holding on to. It doesn't have to be with a Scorpio. It could be with a Capricorn as well. Something about addressing some sort of final conversation allows you to move on with peace and clarity. There was something about the illusion of what you were seeing was not the reality. Again, something about putting someone or something up on a pedestal. You quickly come to realize there was a misinterpretation there. And it did have to do with a lack of self-worth or not seeing your true value or settling for something. Again, you come into some sort of power position, I do want to say in Aries season, where you're just not taking bullshit anymore from people. It's very, very empowered, Cancer. Yeah, someone who you've had a troubled relationship with, particularly professionally, it could be an Aquarius. You may come to some sort of like, I just heard peace treaty. That's so funny. Peace agreement or some sort of like a coming together of the minds. You decide that ultimately if you're going to have to work together, you may as well make the best of it. So I'm almost getting there's a tad of ego on both your ends. I don't think you guys meet in the middle and do this whole I'm sorry, whatever thing. It's more like you guys decide to like leave the past in the past. It's dead and buried. Like, let's just start like a fresh page. Let's start like a clean slate so that we can move on and get things up and off the ground. If for some of you, you're communicating with either an air sign or a fire sign that's very immature or you see them as very flighty or flaky, and some of you are going to choose not to work with them anymore. But again, if there's any confusion, it does seem like you're going to make a final decision, a final judgment call once and for all. And that's what this could indicate too, a final judgment about an Aquarius too. Yeah, some of you were meant to be on stage. Some of you were meant to sing or act or dance. Something about you've been hiding again, like in like behind stage or behind the curtain, and you were meant to be in the limelight. You were meant to be the star. There may be some opportunity, and maybe a Gemini throws it your way of like, hey, do you want to like, be an understudy or act in this thing? Or I don't know what it would be, right? But some sort of opportunity where people get to see your passion. People get to see your flame, your excitement, your enthusiasm, your creative skills and talents in a way that you've never demonstrated them before, but it does take some bravery on your part. Taking some sort of risk or signing into some sort of contract that maybe you're a little bit hesitant to do, but for the most part, I think it's very positive. I think it's going to launch your career with Eight of Wands, swift, fast, forward movement. And it may even involve working with children, particularly those who want to be teachers. Or this is such a random message. Work with children who are in the limelight, who are, I don't know, like child celebrities, or maybe you could even be doing something with like legalities or court cases or like protective services, something for children to protect their rights, to protect their purity, to protect their light. That's what this could be as well. So yeah, some of you are like light workers, right? I think we say that every time. My Cancer squad out there. My good-hearted Cancer squad. Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity that awaits you. It's like you just have to decide to move forward with it. And then you have your Queen of Wands. Because yeah, you are magical. You are confident, right? You are meant to go out and create and do beautiful things in the world. So there's maybe apprehension of feeling overwhelmed or feeling insecure because you don't know all the answers yet. You haven't quite figured out exactly what's in all those cups. But there is something about going forward and having having great faith that what's meant to be yours will be yours. So even if you don't know all the details, the universe is like ushering in this changing of the cycle. They're on board with it. It's like, are you Cancer? Do you want to be the master of your destiny? Do you want to welcome in this new beginning? Or do you want to stay? And again, you keep reaching for that broom, but like it's a tapped well. It's this circumstance with the devil you keep wanting to play out until it goes in your favor. This was a lesson. Walk away humbly and acknowledge that you're taking away valuable information and lessons that you can apply in the future, but you don't need to apply it with this person anymore or with this job anymore. I just keep getting this devil won't budge until you decide to walk away from it. It's time to explore new lands. The King and Queen of Wands are all about travel, adventure, excitement, curiosity, exploration. Go in a new direction. Go somewhere where you haven't, where you haven't succeeded, but where you haven't tried before, because there's much more opportunity for money, for abundance, for emotional fulfillment in a new direction with someone new. or in a new job, in a new business. Some of you do want to travel, but again, there's a fear there, and maybe it's about traveling on your own. Or again, just a lack of self-confidence because you haven't tried it before. Communicate that. Ask around. I'm getting that you have like a network of support of friends who they will be able to give you great advice or guidance to guide you in the right direction. Particularly a fire sign, particularly a parent who's a fire sign, an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, if that means anything to anyone. What is your final advice or guidance? Oh, Cancer. Oh, Cancer. You just got amazing cards. Two of your cards just showed up, Queen of Cups and the Chariot, a card of victory, aligning our inner light, our dark energy, our light energy, using them together in unison. We'll get that Chariot to pull forward, right? To take us into this new cycle, to our destiny. Queen of Cups, emotional fulfillment with a kind heart, with a pure, light-hearted energy, emotional fulfillment. The fairy tale ending, right? You guys are on your way to discovering what it is that you really want, or making strides to start getting greater money flow, a greater influx of money. Some of you are working in like, what is the term? Like with, not rights. Something about inclusivity, working with like, what is the term? Like what I'm trying to say is like gay and lesbian rights and transgender, something about the rainbow. It's about like inclusivity. So, yeah, working with people who are, what is the term? Underrepresented, I guess, or something like that. Putting a face, putting a, shedding light on some sort of good cause that is all about inclusion and making groups of people happy together. Again, something about civil rights or social activism, something like that is important. And then you have King of Wands again. I think you have this card 3 times. King of Wands, King of Wands, King of Wands. So potentially 3 fire signs are going to be very important in your life. Again, one of your parents is represented with this fire sign, whether they're an Aries, Leo, Sag or not. For some of you, that's important. Spiritual teachers, right? You may have multiple spiritual teachers in your life. This could be representative of like your spirit guides, your guardian angels. Heavy masculine fire signs, though it doesn't have to be masculine, but some of you are surrounded by fire signs. I mean, particularly on the wheel of the zodiac, Leo is right next to you. Aries is like your spiritual guidance system, and maybe that is a timestamp for Aries season. And then also Sagittarius may play like a nice friendship role or potentially a romantic role in your life. Lots of heavy fire signs, and I do want to say for a lot of you masculine fire signs, you may end up working with a bunch of people who are contributing to this influx of money or helping you to grow and build your business. Wands are all about growth, passion, and creativity. So you may be working with multiple clients or multiple vendors that are all supporting your creative idea or are involved in it in some capacity. You may also be working with another Cancer. 2 cards of Cancer. You have so many people in your spread, Cancer. It's a lot. Yes, some of you definitely want to work with children. And then you have Knight of Pentacles again. So you have that at least once. Practical steps forward. Try to be patient. Seeds develop organically over time. So you may as well start planting them now so that they can bloom and blossom in the future. And there was something here about the course correction of you start somewhere and then immediately recognize, oh, that's not what I want. You go towards something better, something or someone better who values you. There's a nice bond, a nice back and forth, a nice relationship. There's something about the one that you went to initially and changed your mind about. That person or that boss or whatever that circumstance was that you essentially moved away from, they start having some sort of regret and they offer some sort of apology, or it could be even a delay in pay if they owed you a lump sum of money that you didn't get. Particularly if there was like a nitty gritty thing about, oh, well, in the contract, blah, 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 you may actually get that lump sum of money or that payout, or at minimum, maybe some sort of apology that would help build this relationship to be better. I'm sensing remorse from this, and it's from the one that you ultimately rejected. It's the one that you decided to leave behind. It could be with an earth sign, a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or again, it's just standing for money that is going to be paid out to you. But I do want to say slowly. Slowest moving knight in the deck, but does step up and do the work. Responsible, but particularly if you're dealing with an earth sign that maybe was not committed at one point in time, they may come back around again and make an offer to you. And I think I said this to you before, though. I don't think you're as willing to consider it because you're going to consider it a closed chapter. It's like, oh, like too little, too late. It's like, oh, well, that's nice of you, but I've already moved on. Like, I've chosen a new path. I've chosen a new destiny. So yeah, with 10 of Cups, if Cups indicate money flow, there's a lot of money flow here and abundance and happiness. And like a well of love. It's very frequently a card of family, again, working with children. Some of you are definitely want to be like teachers, and I'm getting specifically like art teachers or teachers in some sort of creative field, even if it's not with children. That seems like it would be lucrative, and I do think you would be very happy doing that, Cancer. And it may even be a job that allows you to travel. Something about that would bring you great joy and happiness. Even spiritual teachings. I don't really know exactly what that would be, but maybe you're teaching some sort of something that promotes health in the body or spiritual health, something like that. Lot of fire signs are going to play a key role, particularly in Aries season, that I think in a positive way are going to influence your money and your happiness in a sense in the coming months. There's some skill in the past that you put on the back burner or put to the sidelines because you weren't at a place where you could actually capitalize on it and do it. That idea, particularly a creative idea, is making its way back, and you're actually going to be able to successfully incorporate that into your job or into your business. In the coming months. Again, more fire energy. Knight of Wands, card of Sagittarius. You have 3 knights here. So you have the Knight of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Wands. So you have action, adventure, curiosity. You have insight. You have clarity, you have the information to move forward, and then you have the practicality, the responsibility, the money-wise, money-savvy mindset. The only one you're missing is the Knight of Cups. So this is sort of saying to me, before you move forward, make sure your heart is in it. I think you guys already know the answers intuitively with these cards coming up because you do have the Queen of Cups, right? So it's almost like potentially it's what's winning over all these knights is the queen, is you. Again, Cancer, do you have 3 suitors if this is romantic? Just because sometimes knights can be making offers that do inspire change and movement. So maybe it's 3 job offers, right? If it's not romantic, but you have 3 kings and 3 knights. I don't even know what to do with that, Cancer, but I think it's good. I think it's real good. If you're putting out resumes for new jobs, you're going to be getting some bites back. So I would keep doing that. Don't get frustrated by the slowness of it. If it feels like you're not making progress, you are. In fact, you really have 4 knights, but it's not all the elementals. Yeah, something about checking in with your heart. Make sure your heart is in it, and intuitively, Cups can connect with our spirituality, our intuition. If something doesn't feel right, Cancer, you are extremely psychic, you're extremely intuitive. If something doesn't feel right, that's important to note, right? That is a communication from a higher power that, yeah, something isn't right here, so make sure you listen to that inner voice, right? Queen of Cups style. All right, Cancer, that's what I got for you. Please like, share, subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below if any of this resonates for you, and I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye.